What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Hot Chopper channel, coming to you with a super early morning edition of NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Lots. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised of our great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. I hope you appreciate it. I got up here at 5:15 because, well, it's time to put in that work, Devin. Don't give up. I love that commercial. I quote it all the time. But yeah. Another one. We got ourselves an awesome opportunity today to make some money. We got 11 games in the NBA streets, and well, there were no props out last night, like nothing. Now, there are a lot of teams on back-to-back, so I understand that. There's also some injury news that I don't know how it's going to be panning out throughout the day, but right now it is 10 a.m. Eastern time, 7 a.m. on the West Coast. So check out this video and keep that in mind. Injury news is still going to be breaking throughout the day. It's going to look crazy, but primarily focused on getting on some overs just because, well, unders are going to be what really gets burned by some of the injury news. And I do feel pretty good about a couple of those in portfolio EV that are actually showing up where I think there are guys who are going to play. But we got a cat illness that popped up. We got a lot to get to. I didn't even turn my TV on behind me. I just realized that now. But part of that is it is time to go to work. So hopefully you're able to view this still. We're able to rock and be like Lindy, joint tails today. I'm just going to throw that in for the people. Also running promo code SWEEP. I should make sure that I find that. I don't know where it went. Sweep 12. I promise it's a thing that's happening in the world. Anyway, be like Lindy, join Tails today. There's a link down below. If you guys are looking to jump into Tails yourselves, well, I will say this. It is awesome times to be in the Tails streets. Plus, I can't tell you how many sharp people I've been tailing and making money off of. I can only imagine what that would be for somebody on the outside looking in. I'm looking through you, and I understand. Guys, I'm caffeinated somewhat. We got ourselves a lot of work to get to, shall we? Oh, surprise, no lean slides. Every game getting broken down individually. This is what you can do when you're just kind of in your feelings. And again, please post some props earlier. That would make me very, very happy. But we're going back to the old school Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks style, I think, going forward in the NBA, because I found a quicker process to be able to get these graphics updated. And yeah, I think I'm just going to fucking roll with it. Billy taking on Cleveland here, 10.5-point dogs. And this one comes down to what happens in terms of Joel Embiid, who I assume sits, 99% chance he sits, but what happens with Jared McCain, who only played like 15-ish minutes yesterday? I think with VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey playing a gobsmack of minutes, even as 10.5-point favorites, I think you get Mr. McCain out of there. I think they're still going to look all right. My assumption is that they kind of played him light just to be able to have him still go on this back-to-back. As for the Cleveland side, we're still waiting on Jared Allen, who hasn't returned back to the lineup here yet. Oh, yeah, and they get Darius Garland in. So this is going to be a very tough game. Try to find any kind of edge on the Cleveland side. 9.5 rebounds, Evan Mobley, something I stared at for a while. But Tyrese Maxey under 41.5 PRA purely because, one, blowout potential. Two, if McCain ends up playing, this might be a spot where, they're down 8, down 12, like still get him more involved. But Maxey's been so good that I don't really want to go out of my way to force this kind of a play early in the day, as I just got done talking about. You've got a lot of injury news that's going to be coming our way on this slate, and unders are going to be the ones that get burned earlier in the day. I'll be betting some of my unders later on, and throughout the day, I would say from portfolio EV, especially in spots that I think are pretty immune from the injury situations. Game number 2. Again, we're going to do this 11 times. I am going to take like a break in the 5-minute mark. I'm going to talk to you about that NFL stuff I brought up before. Oh yeah, I just threw that in the trash. Utah taking on Detroit, and yeah, I feel really good about, from a DFS perspective, my call on Isaiah Stewart being the one who could potentially start. There weren't a lot of props out for him, which was a little bit annoying from the other night. Now, if I had just single game parlayed all them together, I would be on an island, on a little floaty right now, just sipping a little margarita. Utah, though, this one is Isaiah Collier just not in the rotation anymore. He was a rookie last year, started over 40 games, and I will say the Keontae George thing still worked out in terms of shortening his assists. There were a couple of pick'em cards that got thrown together in the premium Discord for that. But how in the bloody F do we just have DNPCD for Mr. Isaiah Collier here? It's just not going to play. That's good to know. That's good to know. Makes Keontae George somebody that I kind of want to be shorting in some department, some way, shape, or form. But I do think the over is actually pretty appealing considering Detroit. Well, yeah, that's what I was getting at. Considering Detroit, pretty stout defensively, but Keontae George went berserk offensively, and I think it bailed us out for that under 7.5 assists the other day. Got some nice CLV on that because Collier was active, but didn't play. I will repeat, he didn't play. So I'm staring at this plus 116 number. That's the highest it exists on FanDuel right now. Again, I've carved through these props all morning long, and just think it's a little thin for now. A little thin for now. If it gets to like the plus 120 range, might have to dip my toes in that end of the pool. But Detroit, I do assume Isaiah Stewart continues to start. He played so well that, like, even if you get Tobias Harris back, do you even want to deal with that? But yeah, I assume with that right ankle sprain, when we get this first injury report of the day, he's just going to be listed out on it. So Keontae George, over 7.5 assists. But on the Detroit side, Ron Holland. I'm from Holland, isn't that weird? All right, let's get to our first official like of the day, shall we? Brooklyn taking on Indy. And this game is a cluster F. You get Michael Porter Jr. back in. He was out for personal reasons, so no injury, no issue with that. But here's who I expect to start on the Indy side. Aaron Nesmith at the 2, Pascal Siakam at the 3. You got your boy Jarris Walker at the 4, Isaiah Jackson at the 5. And Ray J. Dennis more than likely playing point guard, because why wouldn't Ray J. Dennis be the starting point guard for the Indiana Pacers, Eastern Conference champion Indiana Pacers in the year of our Lord 2025? What are we doing? This is just awful. The injury bug with Nembhard and McConnell and Matherin and obviously Halliburton, who's, out for the season with the Achilles. Johnny Furphy now got dinged up. He sprained his ankle. Obi Toppin's still out. Cam Jones. Who? Cam Jones. I don't even know who that is. But we've got ourselves an interesting situation because, well, Brooklyn you can get for 7 points. They are winless on the season. Hungry like a wolf. They just have a deeper bench at this point in time. Plus, yeah, no doubt in my mind, Pascal Siakam, the best player on the floor. I think the next two go take Cam Thomas, Michael Porter Jr., even though I don't love Michael Porter Jr. And Aaron Nesmith is a really good playoff basketball player. This is a regular season game, though. Are we going to get the 3-and-D Aaron Nesmith here? I will say over 2.5 threes, I think is a nice parlay piece. If you're really looking for something else extra, there's a single game parlay that I'm kind of looking at in this game that I think is a little bit appealing. But need some more Ray J. Dennis props. Real thing I just said. Yeah, snag the Brooklyn plus 7 here. Cam Thomas should absolutely chuck in that one. But Michael Porter Jr. and him, I thought they were going to come to fisticuffs at some point this season. Too bad you can't wager on that. Dude, they just both are black holes. Washington plus 11.5 taking on Boston. And with the Washington side, Chris Middleton. With Chris Middleton out, we're going to go CJ McCollum, Bilal Coulibaly. Justin Champagnie got a spot start. Didn't play a ton, but did get to close still. It's always nice when you get those random starters who can still close because he can play well on the front end, maybe garner more minutes, and then on the back end, he can salvage. So there's always interesting spots like that. I mean, trying to think of another one off the top of my head. It's like Peyton Pritchard from last year, not a good example, was always in the rotation, always kind of doing it. But I would say it's kind of like what Pell Larson is right now for Miami as well, where you look at his props and it's like, they're down 20 to Denver. They're probably still closing with him. So I always like to look at game scripts and kind of a tiebreaker for me where, hey, if I can find any reason to not bet something, I'm probably not going to bet it. If I can find a reason to bet something, well, I'm going to go through the list, and if there's a tiebreaker type situation, I can run into it there. Did that make sense? No, probably not. Washington, though, I really expect it to be a lot through George, a lot through, just Alex Starr's played pretty well for how bad Washington is. And you can beat up the Celtics on the interior. I'm going to say it all the time. Like Josh Minot, Nemias Queta, that's your front court on a day in, day out basis. Yeah, whatever. But Boston 11.5, they're going to be the lean here purely because you got Jaylen Brown, you got Peyton Pritchard, you got Derek White, who has positive regression coming for his 3-point shots. And, well, I just don't see how Washington hangs in any way, shape, or form. Again, that's why I'm looking at the Champagne piece there. We've got Minnesota. My Minnesota Timberwolves. This was going to be like primetime viewership. Can't wait to watch Karl Anthony Towns, but now he's questionable here against his former team. Illness. Wake up early in the morning. And we've got ourselves the New York Knicks that could look very, very different. In fact, there's already a picking card that was posted, put into the premium Discord for the people. What is that? Oh, you will have to find out. It didn't actually even include the singular play that I really, really liked that I already bet. But Minnesota, just to cover their bases, Anthony Edwards, huge Q tag. Probably the most important two Q tags that exist on the slate are on the Minnesota side and the Knicks side. Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns. And I mean, you could have like all of Golden State out, but we already know that Steph Curry's out there. Jimmy Butler got dinged up, didn't come back in the second half yesterday. Is what it is. But Anthony Edwards, if he ends up out, we've now seen this iteration of it multiple times where Mike Conley slides into that starting lineup. Nothing really to mine out of the Minnesota side, but there surely is on the Knicks side. If Karl Anthony Towns sits, I know Mitchell Robinson, he's played 20 and 13 minutes in his 2 games, but even putting him in for a hard cap of 20 minutes, I put him at 19 and a half for today. Yes, I'm projecting him for over 7.5 in the event that Karl Anthony Towns plays, and in the event that he doesn't, I have him north of 8.3. So like Mitchell Robinson is not necessarily just factoring in like you need to have Karl Anthony Towns out. No. We got Mitchell Robinson no matter what. Over 6.5 rebounds, minus 130. That was at BetMGM for the people. Alrighty, y'all. We got ourselves a sweep on Sunday. Yeah. I will never do this again as long as I live. I just won't in the NFL streets where, I got the upgraded Barner touchdown. So there was that 5-0 on likes, 7-0 on the lean section when it comes down to it. And we got the tutties. Hit every single tutty that I bet on Sunday. Got Trey McBride on Monday. Things have been good in the NFL streets, which is nice because, well, NFL streets can be tough. Small sample size sport. Not my forte relative to MLB. Not relative to NBA, but I really got a process down in the NFL that has been working very nicely for me in the touchdown department. If you guys want to jump on in to the premium Discord and get the first look at the best numbers every single time for those, well, you can do so. Promo code SWEEP12. Get a month of the Discord for just $12, less than 50 cents a day. Whoa. All right, let's keep it going. More plays, friends. Houston and Memphis here. 7.5-point favorites are the Houston Rockets and Memphis. They're in shambles at the moment with Ja Morant just talking shit every day. Are they going to find him again? Just, what is it? Detrimental to the team. Content. Why do I keep saying content? Not discipline. What's the word I'm looking for? Whatever, you don't care. I don't care either. Jabari Smith, questionable. Steven Adams, questionable. 2 big Q tags that exist on the Houston side in terms of rebounding for Mr. Şengün. You got the spot start there for Tari Eason, and Tari Eason still confirmed pretty good at the basketballs. So, yeah, this is a pretty darn efficient basketball game and pretty tough for me to get near anything. 232.5. I'm going towards the under. We go in under. Ja Morant does not look very engaged, although he should look engaged because he should want to get out of Memphis if that's what he wants. Walking out of Memphis. Walking with my 2 feet off a field. New Orleans taking on Dallas. That game probably deserved the least amount of time purely because, well, can't really find any edge on Şengün probably at the moment, but I'm going to keep looking. I think he is due to smash in one of those. Oh, one more guy to bring up from the last game. I know that I just clicked out of it. Cam Spencer. Both Spencers could be pretty important to the rotations of their respective teams. Cam Spencer for Memphis, Golden State. The other Spencer probably going to be far more involved between the two of them. His name is Cat. Cam and Cat. Shout out twins. White boys out there going to get their asses kicked. New Orleans taking on Dallas. That is for sure. 226.5 total that we've got in this one. And I'm not a huge fan of Derek Queen, but he played really well last night. But now they're on a back-to-back. Yves Missi was sick. He had a rumbling his tumbly. He was ill against Charlotte. They ended up winning the game anyway. Didn't matter. But if he gets back in there, what do they do here? Because Kevon Looney started, didn't really play. I doubt that he ends up playing today. We'll see what happens with that first injury report of the day. But Zion Williamson, grade 1 hamstring, got ruled out of the middle of nowhere yesterday. I think that this is just a New Orleans team that is in shambles. Jordan Poole, first off, not a winning basketball player. Secondly, I think there's 2 things that are very interesting in this game. One, the one I already bet, and 2, the one that I haven't. Let's start with the one I haven't. I think there's a very real chance that this is the spot that you start D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell on the Dallas side has been kind of doing everything for them offensively. They don't have a true playmaker. Like, Cooper Flag is good. Still pretty raw on the offensive end. True shooting, not a great shooter here at the moment, but he's not really out creating for anybody either. And playing, point flag, that was a great idea in theory, but that was when you were going to be able to do some ISO ball with Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis out, Derek Lively out, Kyrie Irving out, Dante Exum out. There's really no playmaking on the floor. Jeremiah Fears is like 6'2", $170. Like, he's my height. He is, I won't tell you how many pounds less, but he is a small dude out there relative to other NBA players. And that's kind of been the issue that they've had starting D'Angelo Russell. I think in some of these other spots, also, Jason Kidd always feels like he knows what's best for the point guard position, which, whatever. I guess earned that ability, although the game's changed a little bit since his time. But yeah, I like the idea of Cooper Flag playing point in theory, but I think this is a D'Angelo Russell prop spot. I'm probably going to single game parlay something together, get your popcorn ready. We'll see exactly if I'm right about that one. But in the meantime, the thing I did bet, Dallas, I got it at 7. It's at 7.5 everywhere right now. I would prefer you were in the premium Discord able to get 7, but 7.5 as well. I'm just fine with this play. You got Gafford back in the interior, who I think just eviscerates whomever it is on the other side. Probably Derek Queen in the event that Missy can't suit up for this one. They're going to be pretty small in that front court. This could be another PJ Washington smash fest. Ended up on his PRA 2 days ago and he completely blew that out of the water in like the first two, it was like 2.1 quarters. Like, cashed it like at the 10-minute mark of the third quarter and then just watched him hit every rung of the ladder of PRA if you wanted, but I didn't do that. That would have been too convenient. Speaking of convenient, another play coming your direction, Denver hosting Miami, 9.5-point dogs. I don't understand this line at all. I really don't. And again, when I wake up early in the morning and I have my coffee and I do my second run through of props, because I did do my own run through last night, I kind of color code it where it's like green, red, and you just kind of compare where the sportsbook numbers open relative to mine. It's kind of a good way to get your brain working in the morning. And then you dive into the things that are either bright red or bright green, and you have an idea of where you're going to be ending up on a day, especially because, sometimes injury news is sitting in flux. Like Jalen Brunson, he's sitting at 27.5 points right now. If Karl Anthony plays, you really want that under. In the event that he doesn't, you really want that over. It's like perfectly middle. But then there's props that aren't perfectly middle. And those are always kind of interesting to me. What I find to be interesting about this one is that there's basically no injury news that we're waiting on whatsoever. We know Miami's just fine. Like, Terry Rozier's never playing basketball again, and Tyler Hero comes back next week. So you best get your stats in now before Tyler Hero comes to ruin that party. But just to touch on the Denver side quick, Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, Cam Johnson, who's going to shoot the ball better eventually, Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic. Number 1 in adjusted offensive rating, looking absolutely ranunculous. This is your highest total that we have on the board. The only one north of 240 at the moment. I doubt that changes either. But Norman Powell, 20-plus points. I was able to get over 19.5 at minus 130. It immediately got bet up to minus 145, so let that be known. It was like click, click, boom. It just nuking props over here. Getting a lot of respect from the Bucks at the moment. But hey, at 20.5, I like this inside of minus 112. So if you get this minus 110, just fine with that. Not pick 'em viable at 20.5. Had to already put that note in. But Norman Powell, 20-plus points, minus 130, friends. Boy, do I like it. North of 26% usage that I'm looking at. Him and Bam Adebayo, basically identical usage rates, playing on the floor alongside each other so far this season. Got to 28 minutes against his former Clippers team. I feel like you just put him at a baseline of 29 and change, and he's already beating this. If he gets to 30, 32, you're eviscerating this. So you're basically fading the blowout. And I think Norman Powell is just going to chuck. Also, they're one of the best shooters in the league the last couple seasons. 69.4% true shooting. Yeah, we like Norman Powell to score buckets in Denver tonight. San Antonio taking on the Lakers. We get into the late night window here. We've got 1, 2, 3 games that we're going to cover here. Hit that like button for me if you could. San Antonio taking on the Lakers. And part of why I really like the idea of going back to this old format is stuff like this, because I don't have a play on this game right now. I don't. But I really, 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 really want to. And, sometimes when you have the lean board, I know people might not necessarily be leaning and giving every game the attention it deserves. This deserves as much attention as what the plays that I've already given out are, the likes ones. But this is a lean here just on straight up Lakersness. So just let that be known. But I look at the San Antonio side. Victor Wembanyama, been playing for pretty good basketball, but kind of letting other guys take over. And listen to this injury report. Jeremy Sohan, questionable. Kelly Olynyk, questionable. Lindy Waters, questionable. Doubt he's in the rotation, but I know there's a girl in Oklahoma that likes him a lot. Real ones know what I'm talking about. But man, this could get this could just be convoluted like crazy. And I do expect them to keep starting Castle, Vassell, Champagny, Barnes, and Wemby, but there's some volatility here, I think, on the San Antonio prop side, because they're going to have to figure some stuff out. Jeremy Sohan, he's played point guard in his career here. He's generally a big four, but Julian Champagny next to him doesn't really make sense to me. Harrison Barnes off the bench doesn't make sense to me. So, I'm just keeping with the same starting five, but I do have a lot of interest in unders on the San Antonio side. As for the Lakers side, Austin Reeves hurt his groin. That's never a fun experience. Men, you always feel it in your loins when somebody's like, ooh, groin. But anyway, Austin Reeves, he's out. Luka Doncic could just set this world on fire. Actually set it on fire. And I think you saw enough good things from Nick Smith Jr. the other day. I don't hate the idea of some Nick Smith Jr. and DFS in the late slate, but obviously from a betting perspective, not going to be something that I'm as entertained on. I doubt we even get any kind of props. Big Laravia, I assume, steps in to start there. You'd go Doncic, Smart, Laravia, Rui Hachimura, and DeAndre Ayton, who's off the injury report. But Lakers -3 for right now. Just keep in mind how good props could look. Austin Reeves obviously matters. You saw what he was doing without Luka, but even alongside Luka, it's been a two-man show with these two without LeBron James out there. So, running some of the rates, I have a lot of interest in props unders on the San Antonio side and on two specific overs on I didn't throw Marcus Smart in there as well, but Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, but Luka Doncic, complete Hulk slam potentially incoming. Oklahoma City taking on Portland. This one, it's a little bit dicey for me because there's tons of OKC news that we're waiting on. And I tweeted out something, I don't know, a little bit ago. Early in the morning. OKC only 4.5-point favorites taking on Portland because they're the ones on the back-to-back in this scenario. And that is not fair all the time. You know what? Life isn't fair. Almost have to be days like this. But Lou Dort, he only played 15 minutes with that shoulder deal yesterday. Was it because they were trying to limit it? Was it because Isaiah Joe went completely scorched earth? I think he scored 22. Just making everything. You might want to guard that guy. He's out there for one purpose and one purpose only. Get that rock in the air as fast as possible. And he is quite freaking good at it. So, OKC, they have the perfect pieces around to play whatever style of basketball they want at any given time. You can go big with Isaiah Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren. You can go small with the Isaiah Joe type lineups and, play Chet at the 5. You can go to Jalen Williams at the 5. Jalen Williams could share the floor with Chet or Hartenstein. I mean, it's just insane what OKC can do with their squad. But Chet Holmgren, I don't expect to play. He missed 3 consecutive games. He played 30 last night, went nutties in the fourth quarter. Still didn't his PRA. I saw a couple of people complaining about that. But I will say this. I don't think Jalen Williams plays either. This could be a Hartenstein, get to the props quick kind of spot, especially when it's Donovan Clingan and doo-wop, Reese, doo-wop, doobie-doobie-wop. He's not in the rotation. Just fun to say. Young, Yang Hansen, that's the other guy that I'm pretty sure you'll see a couple of minutes of. Just saying, it's going to be a bigger front court there, and Jeremy Grant coming in at the 4 or 5, I guess, if they slide him over. I'm very curious to see how these two teams match up against each other because I do think Portland has some interesting iterations. By the way, the most embarrassing loss ever, losing to the Lakers, without Reeves, without Luka. You had Marcus Smart out there doing his try-hard bullshit, and you had Nick Smith Jr. put up a trillion on you. Good job. Good effort, guys. Real well done. Wedding in Hawaii, real original. But Jordan Holmgren and Williams, Jalen Williams, that's not the ALEN one. He's already out, but AYLIN, who pretty freaking good too. So much prop interest. But Lou Dort, if he ends up playing, under 14.5 PRA is something that I'm looking at. It's only available at BetMGM right now, so keep that in mind as well. How apprehensive are books going to be to post numbers here? Because Aaron Wiggins could look ridiculous. AJ Mitchell is a plus 30 plus in freaking sub 20 minutes yesterday. It's absurd how good AJ Mitchell is. Oklahoma City's not fair. They're not a fair basketball team. But rounding it all out, friends, yeah, I don't make the rules. This is just two kind of not duds to talk about because I think there's tons of props that are going to be available to us here. But Golden State taking on Sacramento. Jimmy Butler does not come back out for the second half after playing through a back issue. He said right low back tightness, I believe was the injury report on NBA.com coming into this yesterday. We'll see what it shows up today. But Steve Kerr, who's a damn dirty liar for what it's worth, did say that Steph Curry is going to be out for tonight. So that's why we're seeing only a 3-point spread here. It would have been larger, especially because, like, between these two teams, they're pretty close to each other in proximity. People prefer the Golden State side. Just saying. They've been a little bit more relevant, I would say, the last 2 decades. Slightly. But Al Horford, this might be like an Al Horford spot start kind of situation. You had Quentin Post play a lot. He played really well, knocked down shots yesterday, did some really, really good things. I saw my buddy Greg Aaron Bird was on the PRA. A little golf clap for him there. But with Steph Curry out, there's obviously usage available. And I don't project Jimmy Butler to be playing basketball tonight. So Al Horford nuke? What does that even look like? Literally just reading what I put in the corner. I don't know what that looks like, but I would really like to see some Al Horford props. I think he could play an absurd amount relative to where the market does. And Draymond Green, I doubt, ends up sitting here. They were able to kind of like trim away. But played 20 and 15 minutes. They don't give a shit about the regular season, Al Horford. But maybe this is one of those spots that, considering it's a back-to-back, considering Jimmy Butler will be out, considering Steph's already out, I think this is a spot where you just kind of look at the investment. And Brandon Podziemski props, I think they're a little bit inflated at the open. Jonathan Kuminga very inflated at the open. I think I saw 20.5 points. Kind of looking at an under there, but I'd like to get confirmation on Jimmy Butler before I go completely crazy. Plus, we'll see if they even post any Al Horford props. Oh, darling, we did it, friends. We did it. We got through the entire thing. One more time, promo code SWEEP12 down at the video description box below if you'd like to jump into the premium Discord for just $12. Super sharp people, not just myself. Plus, I'm tailing college basketball. I'm tailing hockey from my people. Got some super sharp people in there. I can't say enough about B Krebs. Can't say enough about J Metal K. Can't say enough about Pete. Pete the Heat. Let's go. Everybody hanging out in the Discord. You're going to like it. Plus, if you're looking to join Tails, which I've got a couple of my boys set up with John the Bettist as well. Absolute stud. It's going to be awesome to have these guys over in Tails providing some plays here as well over on that main picks feed. Plus, so many opportunities within Tails to be able to do this yourself, to be able to do what I do. Be like Lindy. Join Tails today. Would love to have you. Let's get out of here. And that does it for an early in the morning edition of NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to the comment section below. Let me know if you appreciate that. A lot of games to talk about. Wanted to break them down one by one. Go back to old school Lindy's. If you enjoyed that, let me know as well down in the video description box below so that we can keep doing that, because I get to do whatever I want. That's just where I'm at in my life. So, good place to be. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Wednesday. Bye. See you Thursday.